You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Gossip Girl After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Gossip Girl After Show.
What up, AfterBuzzers? Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Gossip Girl, the final season.
Aww.
This episode was called Dirty Rotten Scandals. Ooh, I didn't even notice that till now. But before we do anything else, I am Roxy Striar, along with, of course, the lovely Jessica King.
Hello, hello.
And we have back in studio Sara Stretton. How are you feeling? Because we got some Twitter love from you, for you actually. Because you don't have your own Twitter, I have to tell you.
Hashtag Sarah get Twitter.
Yeah, hashtag Sarah get Twitter, hashtag Sarah get better. Because you were a little sicky.
All of my friends are on my back about this all the time.
About
I'm just
Twitter?
so bad at
I
Facebook
will
and
say-
Twitter and
You don't have Facebook either?
No, I
Okay.
have a Facebook.
I will say, in Sarah's defense, although I don't know if this is really defending her, her Facebook profile picture has been the same for, I think, 6 years.
No, it's like 4.5.
Oh my God.
I'm not, like, my exaggeration wasn't that bad. For as long as I've known her, which is all 4 years of college, she has not changed her Facebook profile picture.
You like weren't even in college yet.
No, I'm in high school in my
So,
profile picture.
social media, not your thing.
I'm kind
That's
of horrible
okay.
at it.
You know what is your thing?
Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl. So that's what we're going to talk about. Is that okay with you guys?
Totally
Or should we just
fine.
have an entire after show about social media?
And how Sarah sucks at it.
Let's go with Gossip Girl.
So our first thing that we want to talk about actually is the opposite of social media. Old school, old fashioned. We got books in the house. Dan's book, to be specific, although it is released on the internet, so that is
True.
kind of contradictory
I don't
to
think
what
it's
I was
being
just saying.
called a book. It's what, the series?
It's like a
expose.
magazine expose. It reminds me of like the old time newspapers when they used to like release
One
books in
once
chapters.
a week or something.
Why can't they give us a title? At least call it Inside 2 or something. What do we even refer to it as? Dan's
Expose.
expose?
I have no idea.
Kind of pissing me off. But, okay. We see that Dan puts out his first chapter, or whatever you want to call it, with the Spectator, because Nate promises to print it word for word. Yay! Friendship! Uh-oh. Can't mix friendship and business?
Yeah.
Sarah's looking at me like, what? All right, go ahead, girl.
No, I'm already just thinking about his first expose, which is all about like Rufus. And I'm like, you're starting with that? Isn't that very current? Like you would think his expose would start with all of the things that are.
Well, did Nate get to choose which one went first? Because remember, Dan didn't even want to read it. So maybe
You mean
Nate.
Dan didn't want?
Dan didn't want to read it before Nate released it on The Spectator.
Oh, right.
So maybe he just chose like whatever he thought would be the juiciest at the moment, or
juiciest?
would be the best for like the launching.
Oh, so you guys
story.
think the whole thing's written and it's just going to be released A, C, B,
yeah, in
Q?
different snippets.
Okay, so he's not writing every week. It's not a blog. It's a book that's written.
It's
and
already
different
written.
chapters are being released at different points.
I think
Because
so.
I thought it was already written too, because they had tried to get it published and it got turned down.
Right.
So doesn't that mean like he
But
already
maybe he's
has
still
the
adding
pages?
to it as more people burn him. He's like, oh, I'm going to write about that. And he's such a pro that he just does it overnight and he's good to go.
But it was a weird place to
No
start.
editing required.
It's a weird place to start with Rufus and Charlie Ivy, but we know that is where we do start. So let's talk about that for a second. And this whole situation with the suing, to sue or not to sue, that is the question. I mean, what's going on? Charlie Ivy leaked this, and Rufus is like, it's okay, honey, it's okay. I mean, is he just blindsided by love right now, or what? What's the deal? Like, snap into it, Rufus.
Yeah, I'm so not a fan of this relationship. Yeah, I mean, she basically released on Gossip Girl that they were threatening to sue Dan and Nate and the Spectator.
Right, she leaked it.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's stupid for it's like Rufus is gonna take her side instead of his son's side, which I guess
Which kind of happens.
Yeah, but then again, like Dan just betrayed him also.
How?
Well, I mean, like, by releasing this information about him, like, private information, I guess. I don't know.
But it's your kid.
But can we talk about what this information was? I mean,
I understand that. But
this girl, I love the way that Dan puts it in this episode. This is the girl that Dan was about to sleep with that was like, call me Serena. I mean, we completely forgot this.
I totally forgot about that.
Bitch be crazy. I mean, come on now. So, yes, releasing information about his father, I don't know. But is it warranted? Maybe. I'm not sure, because then we see the one step further with Nate. We can't get into that yet because I know Sarah still, you are jumping at talking about this, but I know we all have so much to say about it. But okay, what's your opinion on the matter? Should he have leaked it about his father? Was it wrong? What are we thinking?
I mean, Rufus took the first wrong step. He started sleeping with his kind of niece, whatever, fake niece relationship that his son had kind of a fling with. Mm-hmm. So he's way in the wrong.
And she had conned that whole family.
And tries to explain it by saying, Rufus is like, we're all adults here. Is that just an excuse for everything once you get to be above the age of 20?
I don't know.
We're all adults here, or 18. I mean, that seems to be what the Upper East Side is all about.
Theme of the show.
No, seriously, once they reach 18, 20, graduate high school, we're all adults here.
You can have relationships with anyone.
I'm not a freaking adult. I don't feel like an adult. I don't feel like you guys are adults. I mean, we are adults, but we're not we're still
We're not old.
We're compared to our parents, we're not adults.
Yeah.
And we are, but we aren't. I mean, it's a fine line, but if the subject is gonna be we're adults here, that's about something that, is reasonable. But saying I'm an adult, talking about sleeping with your son's ex,
pretty much.
Does that make you more of an adult or less of an adult?
Yeah.
It's just a messed up relationship. And when they talk about, they over and over again say that Rufus has been the moral compass and the moral center and complete character flop.
Yeah. I agree with you that Rufus made the first wrong with the whole Charlie Ivy thing. God knows I do not like that girl. But I also think that Dan, granted, Dan knows what he's doing is wrong, and he's obviously trying to prove a point, but I think as his dad, that just wasn't the way to go about it, especially since it kind of blindsided Rufus, because Rufus had no idea that Dan even knew and was already stressing about how to tell Dan and wanted his blessing and whatnot. So it's I get it that Dan is kind of out to get all of the friends because they've all been backstabbing each other all these years and whatnot, but it's weird to see him do it to his own dad, who has always been his number one fan and his confidant.
So what should he have done? He should have, when he walked in, been
stayed
stop.
there and been what the hell? What's going on? I don't know. I think it's weird to just walk out. His dad just didn't know he was back in New York for all that time.
Stratton.
I kind of understand being so grossed out that you wouldn't want to be there, but
you don't want to watch your dad
while they're
have sex
naked and rumbling around.
But I don't understand the not confronting him about it. That's just so over the line that I feel like you'd have to get that in the air and get it fixed right away. But I mean, they've always called him the lonely boy, and he's just making himself the actual
more lonely.
Did anybody get that literally half of a second reference to Jenny that she was living in London
and she approved? So random.
What? I mean,
Jenny who?
We know from last week, filling Sarah in, we know from last week that in some of our spoiler alerts, we're going to see Jenny in the last episode. We're also going to see Eric, and we're also going to see, I can't even remember, Juliet. They're all making appearances at the wedding. The wedding is supposedly for Serena and Dan and Blair and Chuck. We don't know. Who even fricking knows? But we know that we're going to see Lil J. So maybe they're going to try to talk about her more. I mean, I feel like we haven't spoken her name for 3 seasons, and all of a sudden she's in London and is approving of, God knows what.
And I think this is like the second time they've dropped one of those Jenny references since the season started. Like, they're probably going to just start dropping random references to get everyone acquainted with them again. And
because if you say her name enough, it's normal.
Yeah,
for her to come
exactly.
back.
If you picked up Gossip Girl season 5, you have no idea who Jenny is.
Exactly.
Or Eric, for that matter.
Oh, definitely not Eric.
These people have siblings? No way. Or Vanessa, gone. Like,
she hasn't been spoken of since she left.
Literally, like, nobody misses her. Okay, but I want to talk about the more important part of this situation right now, at least in my eyes, which is the way that Dan is treating Nate. Nate, who happens to be, like, my number 1 this season. I mean, I'm obsessed with him right now. I thought that he was kind of a wallflower for the first 5 seasons.
I love Nate.
And then there's Serena, who was kind of his counterpart wallflower, and the two of them were just
beautiful
flowers on the wall. I guess that was
beautiful flowers.
yeah, beautiful to look at, but chilling on the wall. And now Nate is like, I want to be your buddy. I mean, this is me talking to Nate. Nate, dear Nate, I would like to be your friend. You seem like a good friend. You seem like one of the only people the Upper East Side didn't completely torch. Like, I like you. And you like Dan, and Lonely Boy just burnt you.
And he's the
crisp.
only one that treats Dan right.
So what the hell just happened? I mean, are we still on Lonely Boy's side? Especially after this is what Nelly Zuki is telling him to do, and fucking Nelly. Like, there's no other way to put it, but like, goddamn
so
Nelly.
Much influence? You
What
came
is
in for
going
2
on?
seconds.
Okay, so somebody else, please take it away. Tell me, how are we feeling about Dan? Loving it, hating it, wanting it, gone from his system?
I used to feel bad that they used to be mean to Dan, and now he's just making himself like hated. Like, his family's gonna hate him, his friends are gonna hate him, and he doesn't care. So guess what? I don't care either. Like, if you don't have respect for anyone and you don't care what anyone thinks about you, I'm not gonna feel bad at you when it all blows up in his face.
He can just end up with Georgina.
She seems to have a fascination with him.
Okay, so
Well, you know how I am
thoughts?
about friendship, and I've like always been upset about how Blair and Serena treat each other. So I'm not a fan of how Dan is treating Nate, especially after he let him crash at his place. And like I said, all these seasons, Nate has always been the one to give Dan the benefit of the doubt and treat him right and not betray him. For
give
the most part.
everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
Sabrina, Serena.
Yeah, and so I'm shocked to see this side of Dan, and I can't say that I like it, but I do agree with the advice that Nelly Yuki gave him that, like, if no one else is gonna be on his side, like, he's gonna have to just start standing up for himself,
Yeah, but Nate is on his side. If Nate
true.
hadn't been on his side, then yeah, tackle him down.
But
Blair,
Nate knew what
push
he
her
was
down.
getting himself into because he knew what the book was about. And it would have been really naive of him to think that he wasn't going to get burned, whether it was this or whether it was some kind of revealing story about him or something. By him taking on this story with Dan, I guess you could say Dan did fairly warn him and did try to say no.
But why didn't Dan say, Nate, heads up, I went with Vanity Fair?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to
Exactly.
say. But then Nate trusted him, gave him the opportunity, the platform to first get out there, which gets him publicity. And then all of a sudden, Dan sweeps it from under his feet without warning and gives it to someone
No
else.
loyalty. There's
This
no
is the
loyalty
thing,
there.
though. There was no loyalty when Dan wrote The Insider the first time, or Inside, or whatever you call it.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I think I keep calling it Insider, too.
so everyone, like, shouldn't be that surprised. Like, I think it was Gossip Girl or someone that mentioned it, like, on last night's episode, that this isn't the first time that this has happened. And so, I don't know.
This
It's
isn't the
like,
first time that what's happened, that Dan's...
like, that Dan screwed everyone over. Like, last time they all had fake names, this time they have real names.
Yeah, but at least they did have fake names, and it was released as a book and not as, like, I don't know. I feel like this is just so un-Dan to, on the internet, just completely put everyone on blast.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like
the
the side of
fact
him.
that
I've always
Nate
liked
knew-
him because he was Lonely Boy and because we did feel bad for him and he was kind of like a puppy dog. And not that I want to see him keep getting kicked when he's down, but you can't burn the... You can't... What was she saying? You can't bite the hand that feeds you, you know? Exactly. Like, and I feel like you're only going to get more screwed if when people try to help you.
Well, maybe that's the problem. Dan's sick of people feeling sorry for him.
But we see, especially when at the very end, with Nelly and Dan, and she thinks that she's helped him and whatever, and then this new hot girl comes over who, sorry, it was supposed to be like this new hot girl, but kind of like had a weird facial expression on, and I didn't really know what her deal was. But anyway, she's like, "Oh my God, I just saw your post, and I totally love you. Can I like
Buy you a
buy a
drink?"
drink?" And he's like, "Yeah, baby." And she's like,
Just,
"Okay,
wait, how did he say it?
yeah, baby. Groovy, baby, yeah." No, I don't know.
That's
And
Dan voice.
Yeah. I think that all my voices sound the exact same anyway. That's really good that I want to be an actress and all my voices sound the same. Good, good. No, but anyway, he says yes, and Nellie's sitting there like, bummer, man.
But Dan's always been oblivious to that stuff. Like when girls like him or coming on to him or whatever. Like, I feel like poor Nellie Yuki, like, she's like the cute little nerd who still has a crush on Dan, and she just isn't aggressive enough.
Poor Nellie Yuki. I don't know. I think she's very manipulative.
Yeah.
But she learned from the best.
I mean, I feel you learn a few tricks if you're friends with or enemies with Blair.
Frenemies.
Friends or enemies.
Or
You never know,
or
depending on the day.
audience viewers.
Exactly.
Do you feel like Blair Waldorf has taught you something in your life?
Oh, definitely.
Yes, always.
Good work, team. Good work. Okay, so that was pretty much it from Dan's story. But we didn't hear anything else about his book. The other things are being specifics about what's being released. But I'm sure that in the next, oh my God, what do we have, 7 episodes left?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Oh my God. That's like, I'm freaking out. Like, I just stopped dead in my tracks. Okay, well, in the next whatever, short time that we have left, I bet we're going to see one released every single time.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, it seems like they're going to be running the episodes pretty much, which is I like the arc of it because, you know, it's not, I'm sure we're going to get some big secrets out of him too and things like that. And it really does make us focus on our main characters, which we love. No?
Oh, well, I feel like I'm going to tread into the next topic.
Which I did have a quick question. Did you guys realize that Dan's the only one without a job? How does he support himself?
Dan.
He's a writer.
He's a writer.
He's not making money off of it yet. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
now he's going to, but all this other time, like, he
Wait.
got dropped by his agent. And
I'm sorry. What do you mean Dan's the only one that doesn't have a job? What
He wrote the book.
What
He had
is
the
what
money
is
from that.
Serena do?
Well, Serena's rich. Like, she doesn't need a job. But
Serena
Dan's
is
not
on the board of the park.
Yeah, but do you get paid for being on the board?
She has her mom's money.
Okay,
And now
but does that mean
Bart.
she has a job?
But I mean, like, Dan's not rich. Like, he doesn't have funds just, you know, pouring
That's why
through
he
his
doesn't have a place to
bank
live,
account.
and he like sleeps on everyone else's couch.
Like, how is he always so
In his, like, really nice clothes,
upkept
yeah.
and yeah, he gets fed. I mean, come on.
Because
Anyway.
do you think that they would really on Gossip Girl, like homeless Dan, like you
Hey,
walk down the
if
street
you're
and you see him chilling in
struggling-
the corner, like smelling gross and sweats? Oh my
life,
God.
man.
Can you imagine a pair of like Nike sweatpants on the show? Who would be the most likely to rock the big white tee and the sweats?
Dan.
I want Chuck Bass to rock the big white tee
I kind
and the
of-
sweats.
I kind of feel like Nate.
No
Like I
way.
feel like he doesn't give a shit sometimes.
I
No,
could see it.
Rufus.
Mostly because I just think
Rufus.
he could pull it off.
If you guys out there have an opinion on this, please go to our iTunes. We need the iTunes rating.
Great
Give us
segue.
thank you, baby. That 5-star. It's like a high five and a comment if you want a shout out. You also know you can find us on YouTube, at Twitter, all over the place. So yeah, we need those ratings. We need those
5
comments.
stars.
5-star, 5-star. Okay, moving on. So you're right. We're segueing into the next topic, which is the it girl. Is this a term that we use typically in our lives? I mean, other than the show,
I've never called anyone an it girl.
like,
Me either.
instead of being like, oh, she's so hot or she's the next big thing, like, can you imagine if somebody was walking down the street? Well, I'm doing a lot of walking down the street references today. Somebody's walking down the street and you're like, that's an it girl.
Hey, it girl.
Hey, it girl.
What if someone hit on you like,
Yeah, what
hey,
up,
it girl?
Oh, yeah, you got it, girl. I mean, honestly.
I mean, you're from the East Coast. Do they say it there?
Oh, yeah, all the time. You know, I've been called an it girl for my whole life. No, I've never heard of
an
this.
it girl.
Definitely never heard of this. So, but anyway, that's fine. Gossip Girl, apparently, there's an it girl on every corner. You just got to find her.
Mm-hmm.
And this week's it girl is Sage.
Womp womp.
And if she takes over the show, I'm going to throw a fit.
I am too. Oh my gosh.
you.
Thank you.
Here's what I will say, though. I agree. I concur before you guys give me death stares. But I don't hate her as a character as much as I have hated other randoms.
Okay. I think that she started out in a good place. Like, I was fine when she was the new little fling of Nate who was a minor, and that could have been its whole thing. But now they changed it into she might be like Serena's stepdaughter, and she pulls one over on Blair and Serena. And I feel like they're trying to, like, make her this star,
But
and I don't like it.
I think she could be the catalyst for Serena and Blair's relationship getting back together and them being friends, taking her down, classic old school style. I know that this is not what Jessica wants because Jessica is a friendship ruiner and doesn't want to see them together.
That is not true.
But us friendship lovers over here
They shouldn't be friends because they treat each other
want
horribly.
S&B to, you know, they're ride or die bitches.
No, they're not.
Well,
Clearly, they're not.
I'm rooting for them. By the way, how freaking obnoxious was Serena on the phone to Blair? Blair calls and asks for a favor, and Serena's like,
So mean.
sorry, I have
This
a
is
new
my
family
new
now.
family.
Yeah.
Wow. Great
I
family.
think that
they really care about you.
seriously, so nice. I don't like the whole high school angle of it. I think I would have a little more respect for Sage if she was, you know, this character that maybe was just the same age as everyone else, because as a high school character, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like she keeps calling Serena the same age as her, which I get like the reference, but it's like Serena's not 17 and these two worlds shouldn't be intermixed right now with the high schoolers and the adults, and this guy can't control his high school daughter, and it's just like she's so disrespectful to him and it's not a big deal. I don't know. I don't like that angle.
And somehow no one realizes that her flashing everyone was her idea.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
none of the other models did it.
I know, and her aggressiveness with Nate doesn't seem realistic as a high school student. She's like,
Yeah.
you can still put my clothes in the corner or whatever, and like
She could
comes
just
in and,
leave
like,
her house in the middle of the night and show up at Nate's. Like,
Right.
what about school tomorrow?
But at the same time, one of the big things about city living is that you grow up fast, you know? So it's actually not so unrealistic that a 17-year-old living in New York City would be out clubbing, partying, weekdays, dating a college kid. That's actually one of the more realistic things that Gossip Girl has done in a really long time. It's just because they live in such a fantasy world usually that it seems like this is the weird out of place thing.
But it's so unrealistic to me that someone like Nate, who's like the editor-in-chief of New York's major gossip magazine, is dating this minor. Like, why hasn't Gossip Girl gotten a hold of that? Like, Nate Archibald dating a 17-year-old. And it just seems like, you know, when he found out she was 17, it was just like, oh my gosh, you're 17. And then it was just forgotten about. It's not even
Right.
It's not even an issue anymore. He's like, let me take your clothes off, and then maybe I could drive you to school.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's like so odd to me, and just like his status, like he's not just a college kid or some like older guy. Like he is in charge of this huge
Successful.
platform.
He's successful.
Yeah. You know, so I don't know. I just think
To me, they just made her too connected to everything. That's the part that pulls me out.
You mean because she's with Nate and Serena?
And because she might be Serena's
And
stepdaughter,
Blair,
and
and-
she like was in the fashion show. They've just tied. I understand like how that can help, like as the catalyst, but they've tied her into too many things to make it just makes it unrealistic. And for the fact also that Serena met what's his name, Mr. Guy, her dad,
Oh,
Steven?
Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven, in the country, but the daughter's like in the city. It's just.
Yeah, they
I
just
don't
picked
like
up and
it.
moved
Yeah, and
Way
it's like
too-
if she doesn't listen to him, why can't he just send her back to her mom or something? Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, I do get what you guys are saying, but I don't hate her yet. I mean, I love to hate her kind of right now. That's not fair.
She's screwing up with your girl, though.
I like to hate her. Is that more reasonable? I mean, I definitely don't love her. I could do without her, but she's not pissing me
tolerant.
off. Yes, I'm tolerant of her.
She's not at
Like,
Charlie Ivy
can you
status
imagine
yet.
if this was season 6 and we had like a Raina Thorpe in here? I would be crying. I mean, that girl sucked. Like, that pissed me off. The actress, the character, the whole 9 yards. I was like, get this chick out.
We weren't a fan.
But at least with Sage, like, and that's my biggest problem is I wish that, like you were saying, I wish that she wasn't a high school student because I actually think that her little makeout sessions with Nate are sexy and she's hot and she looks great in her undies and like whatever. But then in my mind, I'm like, creepy. 17, creepy, you know? I wish she was just there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
in
I
their
think
world
she's
completely.
gorgeous, and I think she's a great actress. Like, this episode even had me, like, looking up who she is and where she's from and where I've seen her and whatnot. I just don't.
Any answers?
She was from that MTV show, Skins.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know what else she was in. She doesn't have, like, a huge resume. I think that was, like, her claim to
Breakout
fame.
role, yeah. She's really beautiful.
I think she's gorgeous. I just don't like that storyline too much.
Do you wish we kicked her out the door and got rid of her completely, or do you wish just we downplayed?
I mean, it's the final season, so I agree that we need something to stir it up. And as much as I hate the introduction of new characters, because I would like this to just wrap up with like the OG, like 6 people or whatnot.
Plus
you know,
Georgina,
and Georgina, yeah, I could tolerate that. And I'm fine with bringing back some of the old people, but I think it would be nice to just wrap it up with where it started, you know. But I agree that we do need a few people to like come in the mix a little bit, except for what we were talking about last week. I don't like that because there's so many new characters and so many storylines now that we don't get to see each person every week. Like last week we didn't see anything about Rufus and Charlie Ivy. This week we didn't see anything about Bart and Lily. So it's like we're taking turns on each episode because there's so much going on.
It's very true. Can we talk about my favorite part of the episode now?
Of course.
Yes.
Guys, guess what it is?
I'm not gonna guess because I already know.
Serena?
Yeah,
Serena?
it
When
was
Sage ripped her clothes off.
definitely. I mean, I put that shit on pause. No, obviously,
Rewind.
guys. I mean, come on. If you didn't melt here,
Wait, I know. It's when Rufus and Charlie Ivy were cuddling on the couch.
And when she was squirming and her leg was hanging out, she's like,
Are we
I
correct?
actually just tasted my dinner again. That was disgusting. No, guys, no. Honestly, like I'm saying, you don't have a heart if you weren't fucking melting into. Oh, I'm like cussing all over the place today.
Sailor.
I need a beep 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 beep. Oh snap. Seriously.
Oh, snap!
Here we go.
Thank you, Marissa. Seriously, I was dying. Chuck was so freaking sweet to Blair this episode. He knows exactly what she liked. He planned the fashion show for her. She was sick, which, by the way, I don't really know why they added her being so deathly ill. Like, but that,
Chuck had to come in and
but
save
yeah,
the day.
I mean, yes, that is true. But just to him, like, not even kissing her and cuddling, spooning with
Do
her
you think
above
that's
the
being kind of a
covers and-
tease, though?
No, oh my God.
'cause he
I
gave
thought-
you
He
what
kept
she
like
wanted,
leaning in to
success.
kiss her, and every time she would start to kiss him, he'd be like,
I think they're
like,
finally
duck
starting.
out?
No, I think they're finally starting to realize what it takes to make it together, to be successful. Not successful together, but successful and together. Do you know what I mean? Like you can be individually successful while being together
and supporting
and
each other.
supporting each other.
Yes.
That's what it's about. That's what a real relationship is. And you saw that tonight. And
Preach it, Roxy.
she wants to help him find whoever this Miss Alexandra, what was her name? I wrote this down because I think it was Lady Alexander.
yeah.
God knows. Oh, yeah, we saw that random scene with Chuck at the gym and the money bags, and I was like, no, I guess it pays to be rich.
Some bodyguard dude.
No idea where that's going. No idea, but
I'm
we will
sure
see.
Find
it'll be
one person
another-
and then another person.
Right.
and
Another
another
2 new
person.
characters introduced within the next 2 weeks.
And one of them's really going to be Sage's sister, and then that sister's actually going to be the uncle's cousin's niece of Dan.
and then Steven's gonna have a baby mama.
You know what I haven't even thought of? Are we going to see any deaths? No way.
We have to.
No,
You think?
not any major ones.
But someone. I
Georgina.
feel like they always kill people.
Georgina's
in, like, the final
boyfriend.
seasons.
Her baby. I'm just kidding.
That's horrible.
Georgina would be like pretty stoked about that, I think.
I
though.
know she already hates
Honestly,
her baby.
I just don't want Dorota to die.
Oh.
She is just
No.
she's been winning.
Her
me
English
over.
has gotten much better over the years.
She's also like runs everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And she's so supportive of Blair, and
That's all she's got.
just love that. Okay, but what do we think about the rest of the collection, Blair's collection? Do we like her designs?
It's oh my goodness.
love the
I'm
colors.
totally gonna forget the name. It's really really similar to an actual really popular fashion designer who came out this spring and their line, and I cannot remember the name.
You know what? How you could fix this?
How?
If you got a Twitter and you tweeted later on when you went home and thought of it, and you were like, guys,
I
Gossip Girl
remember.
quiz."
Fashion designer. But it really
Yeah, a
reminds
new
me
one?
of something that came out in the spring. Yeah, it was a spring line, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I really liked the
With
vibrant
bold
colors and the
prints
prints.
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
almost like touristy.
I think they all had to be in
print.
hats, but I really liked the outfits.
Yeah, the hats were, but the rest of it, I thought was pretty good. I think Chuck did an amazing job. I thought it was so cute, like I'm saying, and I was really into it, and I just like can't wait until they're together.
Better than her first line? Yes.
Better
no.
than what?
Yeah.
Oh, her
'Cause
first.
the first line was just like all black and gray and dreary.
Yeah, I thought so, but
I'm all about the colors.
I don't know. See, I've been watching a lot of what's that show? I can't even think of it. Not Project Runway. Yeah, Project Runway. That's it. With the design, all the.
Heidi Klum.
Yeah. I get it confused because I'm watching ANTM also. And oh, speaking of which, yes, I'm killing it with the segues today. The fall lineup. What a good one. So if you're like, oh, I watch a million shows, I'm like, yeah, I do too. Sarah and Jessica are like, yeah, we
Totally.
do too. We're like such frickin' TV addicts here. It's kind of pathetic. Also amazing. Not calling you pathetic, calling you amazing. Calling myself pathetic. So you watch a show. You're like, I need to talk about this right now. Where do you go? You go to AfterBuzz, of course. We know you're watching Gossip Girl because you're here listening to us right now. But what other shows are you watching? We want to know. We probably cover them. If we don't cover them and you're watching them, let us
Holler.
know. Holla at us. We will cover them. We're getting emails from Phil like a day being like,
Every day.
this show
Every
needs to
day.
be covered.
Every
This
day.
show needs to be covered. So I want to hear from you guys. What shows are we covering right now for the fall lineup?
Oh, everything. I mean, you've got everything from Once Upon a Time to I Know Beauty and the Beast is just coming out. All sorts of things. Oh, are you asking specifically what we're covering?
Yes.
I mean, that was the question, but I was just going to let you run with
That
it.
was a great answer, but what are you covering,
like,
Sarah?
What is this question aimed at? No. Continue.
I'm such a trickster. I'm always trying to get answers out of you. No, I was just curious what you're working on.
Well, I'm covering Gossip Girl and Jersey Shore for AfterBuzz, but some of the shows that I've become hooked on this season. Oh my gosh, where do I start? Nashville, New Girl, Modern Family, Revenge, Homeland. There's so many good ones. out
American
there.
Horror. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I can't watch
90210.
that. I can't watch American Horror.
Hoarder.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of hoarders, and both of them just scare me. I can't do either of them.
Anyway, so our fall lineup pretty much kicks ass.
It does.
It's really good. And also, you can catch me on the challenge, which is tomorrow. Okay, and you know what? On some of our other shows, we have really awesome guests. We had guests on the Jersey Shore last week, and we got to step it up. We have a few episodes left. I think we're going to try to get some people in here.
Oh,
well, let's
for
have a
sure.
powwow after this. You know what I would love? Dorota. I'm gonna hit her up on Twitter. Okay, anyway, we'll work on that for you guys. So that pretty much sums it up about our It Girl of the week and
The episode.
the episode. I mean, I feel like we're climbing uphill right now, which is good. We've got some momentum going up, and we're building the storyline. And I'm just waiting for shit to hit the fan,
which
Always
it's
does.
going to soon.
which of course it's going to. But before it does that, we're gonna get to some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so I don't have much for you, and what I do have is not for certain, but I thought it was worth sharing that there's a potential spin-off
Ooh.
in the working.
In the
Maybe.
works.
It might be just rumors, might be jokes, not sure, but with Leighton Meester and can you guys guess who the other person in the
Chuck.
spin-off is? No.
If it's
Serena?
Sage, I'm going to
No way.
die.
It's either Chuck or Serena. It has to
No.
be Chuck.
I'll give you a hint. We hear her voice a lot, but we don't see her
Kristen
often.
Bell?
Something like that.
What?
I don't know. I saw Perez mention something briefly. Who frickin' knows? But some sort of spinoff could not be. Could just be.
I thought Leighton was the one that was saying she was like over it, and she's been on here for 6 years, and it's time for her to.
And I think maybe she might be gone, but maybe making guest appearance on Kristen Bell. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Wow.
No one seems to know anything. But another thing that we definitely do know for certain is that Leighton Meester announced that she's not an NYC girl anymore because she's moving to Hollywood.
Nice. Well, wasn't she only in New York because of Gossip Girl?
Yeah, I think so. But, living there for 6 years, that's not just being somewhere for a show.
Yeah,
You're like a
it's
resident,
your home.
It's your home. So she's coming back out to LA. Obviously, she has a very serious career going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll be glad to have her out here.
Yeah, probably will give us a chance to get coffee with her more often because we miss
we
our
miss
friend
her.
that we,
It's been so long.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe if she moves out here within the next 7 weeks, we can get her on the show.
Yeah, buddy. So we'll work on that. I'll check up on this spinoff, see what else we can find. But seriously, I was just looking on my phone right before this and was like, what is that? Maybe you guys know. Again, iTunes, let me know.
5 stars.
Okay, so that is seriously the
News and gossip.
the extent of the news and gossip for this week in
Some
October.
juicy stuff, though.
Oh my God, this week before Halloween. By the next time we're back here, won't it have been Halloween already?
No, it'll be the day before
It'll
Halloween.
be the day before Halloween. Oh my God, what are you guys being?
No idea.
A monkey.
And those are my co-hosts. One person, Stratton has no idea what she's being, and Jessica is being a monkey. Okay, and
Because Chris has his heart set on being a banana.
you're being serious.
I am.
Okay.
Roxy, what are you being?
So I just ordered my costume last night, and I'm really excited about them. Okay, one.
About them? You have more than one?
Multiple.
Duh.
Oh my gosh.
Halloween is absolutely a week-long event, and anybody who says otherwise is almost as bad as a Chuck and Blair hater. So you guys are going to have to wait and see.
What?
No, okay.
Come
I'll tell you. So my first one is, the girl in Austin Powers is like with the thing in the pink little dress, and she's got like the bullets coming out of her boobies. So that's one of my
Fembot.
costumes. Yeah,
Fembot.
I didn't think anybody would know if I said I'm being fembot, but you go, Marissa, the voice of God in there. And it's kind of funny because I was actually Felicity Shagwell when I was, I think, 10.
Good job.
Yeah. mhm.
Starting early.
This costume is more clothed than that one was, so good. And my other one is like this cute, all my roommates decided we're going to be Disney princesses. So it's Belle, and it's cute, and it's like got this yellow sequiny top and this little it's
Oh my gosh,
That's
I
great.
did that with
I'll
all
take
my
pics.
girlfriends last year. I'll give you one guess to guess which Disney princess I was.
Cinderella.
No!
Why is that what you guessed? I don't know. This is clearly a racial thing. Who were you?
Princess and the Frog, duh!
I really wanted to be Jasmine, but like stomach out after, no, not working for me. I couldn't do the
Oh,
whole
Rox, you're working it.
work it. Okay, so anyway, we have just covered the show, other than the fact that we need to do.
Prediction.
And now,
Thank you, Marissa.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
So all we see
predictions.
in the preview for next week is that two major secrets come out. Can I speak English?
There
Maybe.
you
Use your
go.
words.
I actually had an entire Spanglish conversation today with a woman, and she spoke in Spanish because I understand, and I spoke in English because she understands, but neither of us can speak fluently, so literally we stood there, and it was interesting. Anyway, so here's what we find out. Serena, no, Lily and Steven
Hooked up.
Oh, great.
have had sex.
What?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all coming from Dan's expose excerpts,
Wait.
right?
When did she have time for that?
I don't know.
Between what relationship?
Who knows? There's probably in between
Because I'm so confused.
bathroom breaks.
I'm so confused.
And the other one that comes out that we know but they don't know is that Serena and Nate have had sex. But
I thought everyone knew that by
Steven-
now.
Steven doesn't know.
Wait, does anyone know that? Wait, I'm so confused. Did anyone know that Dan and Blair had sex? No.
Yeah.
You mean
Because they
4 months
dated.
ago?
No, wait. Not that
Because they
one.
full on dated
No.
after that.
Who did Dan have sex with recently?
Charlie Ivy.
Serena.
Oh, right. We still don't
That's
know
the
anybody.
recording that Georgina's trying to get him.
And here's the thing.
to release.
If Dan is going to expose everybody else for all their dirty secrets and all the shit they've done, will he expose himself?
You better. That would
No.
just be mean. That would
And
Well, he
Sarah
has
says,
to,
you
right?
better, Dan.
He
you
has
tell
to.
him. I think so. I think it's part of the story. So we shall see how all of this sexy time works for us.
out.
If I want to talk to you, Jessica, and I'm dying to speak about Gossip Girl or ask you any questions about your personal life,
Tweet me on Twitter. Yes, the Twitter, which Sarah does not have, but you can find me at I am Jessica King.
the Twitter.
The Twitter.
And Sarah, if we want to reach you, yep, that's what I thought.
Hashtag Sarah get Twitter.
And if we do that enough, she actually will. And I'm at Roxy Striar. Until next week, XOXO, baby.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. XOXO.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.